To the weekly highlights program on Azerbaijan television. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev is on a visit to Swiss Confederation to attend a meeting with the Armenian president initiated by the co-chairs of the OAC Minsk group.
Within the framework of his visit, President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev first met with member of Swiss Federal Council, head of the Federal Department of Home Affairs, Didier Burkhalter. Following the meeting, they posed for photographs. The head of state then met with President of Armenia, Serge Sargsyan. The OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs and special representative of the OSCE chairperson in office were also present at the meeting. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev ended his working visit to the Swiss Confederation.
On December 18th, next session of the Milli Meclis took place.
After the opening of the session by Speaker of Milli Meclis, a set of parliamentarians expressed protest to the Azerbaijan Democracy Act document submitted by Chairman of U.S. Helsinki Commission, Congressman Chris Smith. They outlined that the initiator of the anti-Azerbaijan document, Congressman Chris Smith, displays a pro-Armenian position under the influence of Armenian lobby. All-round cooperation between Azerbaijan and United States plays a vital role in the stability and democracy, not only in the region but also in the world. Yet, such persons serving to the Armenian lobby try to cast shadow on the relations. Speaker Oktay Asadov said he does not believe that the document will be adopted. The chairman of Parliament's Committee on International Relations and Interparliamentary Relations, Samet Seidov, pointed out that although the Helsinki Commission is related to the U.S. Congress, it is not a structural body of the Congress. The organization was founded for cooperation with the OSCE and consists of 9 congressmen, 9 senators, 2 representatives from U.S. State Department, 1 from Defense Ministry, and 1 from the U.S. Department of Commerce. Samet Seidov presented the official document of the Helsinki Commission. According to the document, the draft law was submitted to Congress by one of the members, Chris Smith, and does not include the signature of other members of the Commission. He outlined that with such sabotage, Smith only negatively impacts the image of his country. The chairman underlined that annually 4,000 draft laws are being submitted to Congress, yet only around 120 of them are adopted. Samet Seidov also said that the Azerbaijan delegation prepares to submit a number of documents on the aggressive policy of Armenia and territorial integrity of Azerbaijan to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Today, Azerbaijan implements a peace and stability policy in the region. The policy of the Azerbaijan head of state is supported in every corner of the world, which naturally irritates some circles. With support and financial funding of Armenian lobby, such sabotages are prepared against Azerbaijan, and respective preventive works are carried out by Azerbaijan. The agenda of the session included 40 issues. During the session, a number of joint declarations, agreements were reviewed and approved. Amendments to a number of laws were adopted.
A conference entitled Neutrality International Cooperation for Peace, Security and Development was organized in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan. Azerbaijan was also represented at the event.
Participants of the event first visited the Neutrality Monument in Ashgabat. During the conference that followed, President of Turkmenistan Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov stated that while retaining its status as a neutral state, Turkmenistan contributed a lot to international cooperation for the security and development. He touched upon various aspects of cooperation with a number of countries. Conveying the greetings and congratulations of President Ilham Aliyev, Speaker of Milli Meclis Oktay Asadov stressed that neutrality is already proven itself as an effective foreign policy and warrant of successful independent development model. Main principles of this model made it an important international security system element. The speaker outlined that relations between Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan have an ancient and rich history. Many shared values unite the two nations. He underlined that after regaining our independence, totally new conditions for development and strengthening of relations occurred. Both countries are located at the crossroads of Europe and Asia and effectively cooperate in a number of spheres. Close meetings of heads of state Ilham Aliyev and Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov form a solid foundation for the intensive development. The parliaments are also closely involved in the development of bilateral relations. Other speakers outlined that the neutrality status of Turkmenistan attracts foreign investments and trust of international financial and industrial organizations. As a part of the visit, Milli Meclis Speaker held a number of meetings with heads of delegations.
There was no environmental disaster as a result of the accident happened at the offshore platform number 10 in Güneşli oil field. This was announced by Vice President Sokar on Ecology Rafiga Hüseyinzadeh.
Sokar has taken concrete steps in order to prevent any oil spill and environmental disaster as a result of the accident happened at offshore platform number 10 in Güneşli oil field. On the day of the accident, on December 4th, Sokar held a special meeting in its head office and created a joint working group with the Minister of Emergency Situations, Minister of Environment and Natural Resources and BP in order to prevent any consequences of likely environmental disasters. Vice President of Sokar for Ecology, Rafiga Hüseyinzadeh, stated that they had visited the scene of the accident and the necessary measures were discussed in the headquarters of the company every day. As a part of the measures taken by the working group, in order to eliminate likely environmental consequences, 6 ships were involved in the area. The Vice President of Sokar, Rafiga Hüseyinzadeh, also added that the ships were in the standby mode in the sea, and the mobilization took 10 hours as the equipment was loaded onto the ships. Azercosmos Open Giant Stock Company made photos of Güneşli field via Azersky satellite on December 8, and no black spots were observed around the oil field. Saying that they made comparison between the satellite imagery and radar images from Canada, Vice President of Sokar on Ecology, Rafiga Hüseyinzadeh, pointed out there was no oil spill. She added that although a number of media sources claimed the opposite, definitely there was no oil spill as evidenced by satellite and radar imagery. It should be also noted that by analyzing radar-type satellite imagery of the Caspian Sea obtained from RadarSat-2 satellite owned by the Canadian MDA company, Azercosmos Open Giant Stock Company confirmed that no spots were found as a result of oil spill around the field. So, the work done by Sokar once again proves that the likely environmental consequences of the accident will be prevented and nothing will impact the environmental conditions of the area.
The third container train, which started its journey from China's Liaoning province moving en route Trans-Caspian International Transport Route China, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey, reached Georgia.
The third container train, consisting of 21 cars arriving from China, was welcomed by Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili, as well as ambassadors of Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Turkey and China in Georgia and other officials. In a speech, Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili noted that the realization of this project within the Silk Road project will contribute to the regional development. Within the framework of the Silk Road project, cargo ships from China's Far East will be delivered to the Europe via Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia in a very short period of time. Director General of the Georgian Railways, Mamuka Bakhtadze, in his turn thanked the Azerbaijani government for comprehensive assistance in solving the problems faced by Georgia during the implementation of the project. Within the framework of the project, it's considered to apply competitive unified tariffs and increase of the volume of cargo. In the end, the container train was seen off from Tbilisi to Turkey.
The United Nations has included Azerbaijan in the list of countries with high human development. This was reflected in the 2015 Human Development Report published by the UNDP.
The report prepared by the UN Development Programme entitled Rethinking Work for Human Development consists of living standards and social protection level, health, education and cultural development indicators of population, criminogenic situation, environmental protection in different countries. The report shows that Azerbaijan was included in the list of countries with high human development. The main subject of the report was provision of a decent labor for all. Authors of the report called states to increase the attention on the creation of standard job places, on the types of unpaid activities such as taking care of vulnerable people and creative work. The document also notes that the number of people living in the low development level decreased by 2 billion people. This was made possible thanks to the success achieved in the field of healthcare, education and poverty reduction.
The next 8th high-level meeting of the Dialogue on Protection Challenges of UN High Commissioner for Refugees was held in Geneva. Azerbaijan was also represented at the event.
During the meeting held on the topic of understanding and solutions of the root causes of the resettlement, UN High Commissioner for Refugees Antonio Guterres said that increasing conflicts and the number of persons who are forced to leave their homeland put new challenges in front of the civil society. In such a situation, the importance of holding regular dialogue was stressed in order to find solutions. During the meeting, Azerbaijan was represented by the chairman of the State Committee for Refugees and IDPs, Leyla Shirinova, and the chief of the State Migration Service, Firudin Nabiev. In his speech talking about the Armenian aggression against Azerbaijan, Leyla Shirinova brought to the attention that the occupation of 20% of the territories caused displacement of our people from their homes. As a result of the ethnic cleansing policy carried out in Armenia and occupation of Azerbaijan's Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 surrounding regions, number of refugees and IDPs became more than 1,200,000. Deputy Prime Minister also informed about the work done by the Azerbaijani government in the direction of settlement of the problems of the people who were forced to leave their homes. It was noted that 250,000 refugees and IDPs moved to 93 temporary housings built for them. It should also be noted that during the meeting of the Azerbaijan delegation with the UN High Commissioner for Refugees Antonio Guterres, President of the International Committee of the Red Cross Peter Maurer, Director General of the International Organization for Migration William Lacey Swing, opportunities for cooperation were discussed. Azerbaijan's practice on the refugees and IDPs was praised.
Trilateral meeting of the Ministers of Defense of Azerbaijan, Turkey and Georgia took place in Istanbul. The next meeting was scheduled to be held in Azerbaijan.
A trilateral meeting of the Minister of Defense of Azerbaijan, Zakir Hasanov, Minister of Defense of Georgia, Tinaten Khidasheli, and the Minister of National Defense of Turkey, Ismet Yilmaz, was held. During the briefing held after the negotiations, it was pointed out that the sides exchanged views on the development prospects of cooperation between the ministries, ongoing global and regional processes, activities aimed at provision of peace, safety and stability in the region, and other issues. It was underlined that the cooperation between the defense ministries among 3 countries is aimed at ensuring and strengthening of peace in the region. Minister of Defense of Azerbaijan, Zakir Hasanov, said that cooperation in military education and military technical sphere is important in terms of increasing the military might and protection of territorial integrity of all 3 countries. Turkish Defense Minister Ismet Yilmaz stated that a joint declaration in the defense field will be signed by all 3 countries. The cooperation and dialogue in this field is exemplary for other countries. Georgian Defense Minister Tinaten Khidasheli in her turn brought to the attention that cooperation among 3 countries will serve to peace not only for the region but also for the entire world. The next meeting was scheduled to be held in Azerbaijan.
Tickets for the European Grand Prix of the Formula 1 to be held in Baku the next year will be on sale from December 19th. It's planned to sell up to 30,000 tickets.
Ticket sales will start at the National Seaside Park and will coincide with the last 6 months event. Prices of tickets will start from 19 minutes. Azerbaijani citizens will have a 40% discount on the ticket prices. Informing about the issue, Youth and Sports Minister Azad Rahimov noted that 2015 was successful for sports in Azerbaijan, and our athletes have had great achievements. After the first European Games hosted by our country, there was a great interest for the Formula 1 European Grand Prix competition to be held in 2016. According to the minister, as a result of the survey, the majority of respondents supports this event and want to buy tickets. It was reported that participation of an Azerbaijani athlete at Formula 1 race in the future is not excluded. The minister said the revenue gained from the sold tickets will be directed to the budget of Azerbaijan. It was stressed that the contract to host a Formula 1 race in Azerbaijan spans for 10 years. One of the main goals is holding the competition solely by local experts.
That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us. See you next Sunday.